Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm going to do a real quick part 307 to my ChatGPT character chatbot series, where in this video guys, we're going to do one of the last two new chatbots that we have on here. In this episode, guys, we're going to go ahead and do the last main different type Pokemon that we have left. This is the Ice-type Lugia story. And then the video after this one, well, I'm not going to say the exact video after this one, but the video about ChatGPT after this one will be about the robotic evil clone of Shadow, which is probably the most terrifying one of all of them. So, yeah. Like I said, it's called the Ice-type Lugia story. That's what they called on the thing when they created it. But the actual name of the story on this is called The Cry of the Frozen Abyss. So, oh dear. There's actually like a good... Dang, there's a lot here. Let's see what it says. I remember this is about Ice-type Lugia. It says, long ago, before humans walked the land freely, in the heart of the frozen maw, a glacier-cloaked canyon buried deep within the ancient north, there once lived a Lugia unlike any other. His wings shimmered like jagged icicles, his tail trailed frost with each movement, and his breath could freeze the air for miles. His eyes, once a stormy gray like any ordinary Lugia, had turned into glacier blue pits that pierced through blizzards and fear alike. But he was not born this way. He was once Arceus, the youngest of three Lugia siblings. Not the Pokemon God Arceus. That's what it looked like to me. He was once Aureus. Arius? I'll say Arius, that would be the easiest way. The youngest of three Lugia siblings, the only one gifted with the rare power of calming the oceans during chaotic times. His siblings ruled different seas, warm, calm, tropical waters, deep, crushing, abyssal trenches, and for Arius, the polar currents of the North Sea. As decades passed, the world began to shift. Humans arrived in growing numbers, carving paths through ancient lands and hunting for power. The tranquil balance that the Lugia family preserved began to collapse. While the others retreated to deeper waters, Arius stayed, determined to defend his frozen domain. One day, a group of northern shamans, desperate to stop a year-long, unnatural drought, sought to steal Lugia's power. They're idiots. They crafted a cursed relic made of ice, engraved with ancient symbols drawn from a forbidden language. Never mind, that's how he became the Ice Type. An object known as the Heart of Still Water. They believed that by draining Arius' power into the heart, they could command the seas and end the drought. They succeeded, but not in the way they expected. The heart shattered upon contact, unable to contain the sheer raw force of a Lugia spirit. The curse rebounded, infused with Arius' essence, freezing his soul mid-scream. What the frick? His feathers crystallized, his breath turned to a razor-sharp mist, and his mind was warped by centuries of isolation and betrayal. He was no longer Arius. He became Glaceon. It really sounds like Glaceon. It's got Glacien. The Iceborn Tyrant. That is kind of an interesting way to name him. The fall of the northern clans. In the following centuries, legend spread of a monstrous silver dragon. What is with the ice dragons? Did it turn Lugia into an ice dragon too? Of a monstrous silver dragon that haunted the skies of the far north. He brought winter to places that did not belong. Villages were erased overnight by storms of unnatural frost, not out of malice, but out of torment. Glaceon wandered in silence, howling at the moon, driven by half-formed memories of betrayal and loss. The other Lugia, afraid to confront what had become of their brother, withdrew deeper into the oceans. None dared face the frozen titan, until one day the blizzard began to die down. The great beast's sorrowful roar went silent. Some believed he had perished, but others whispered that he had buried himself within the frozen maw, entombed beneath centuries of ice, asleep, waiting for someone or something. Oh dear. Present day. You were drawn to the legends, not by the fame, not by curiosity, but something deeper. What in the world? You always felt a strange pull when it came to ancient Pokemon, especially ones everyone else feared. Lugia was your favorite legendary after all. I like how it pulled that out. It really put Lugia was your favorite legendary after all. It knew that. You had heard the whispers in the Pokemon centers, the rumors about a cave that kills all sound deep in the northern mountains, a cave so cold it burns, and so quiet even your Pokeballs hesitate to open. You didn't hesitate. Days passed as you climbed, the cold bit at your fingers, snow blinding your eyes. You heard something in the wind, a roar, ancient and broken, carried through the blizzard like a memory. And then, silence. You found the frozen maw. The mouth of the cave was coated in ice, the stalactites jagged like fangs. As you entered, the warmth of your body seemed to vanish. Even your breath froze before it left your mouth. And then, dear me, you saw him. Yep, here we go. The Ice-type Lugia. He stood alone. Enormous, elegant, and terrifying. Those are three words. I mean, I can understand giant or enormous as they put it. But why did it go from magnificent to terrifying? I mean, elegant to terrifying. It says, a creature of impossible grace and fury. His wings sharpened into serrated glaciers. His tail etched with glowing frost lines. His face scarred by time. Emotionless, yet tired. Why does it sound like a robot in some way? Just the way it said emotionless. His eyes opened. Uh-oh. They locked onto you like daggers. A low growl shook the ice beneath your feet. He raised his head and spread his wings as ice shards spiraled upward, preparing to erase another intruder. And yet, something stopped him. Your presence wasn't like the others. No fear, no weapon, just respect. His breath fogged around you, but he didn't attack. Not yet. The ice cracked beneath your feet, and his voice entered your mind, echoing like wind through frozen trees. Why do you come, small one, to the place where gods are forgotten? Oh, that's an interesting way to finish that off. Yep, it says you now stand before Glacian, the Ice-type Lugia. You can say or do whatever you want. He watches, waiting. Oh, that's kind of creepy the way it worded that. He watches. Holy crap. Give me a second, I'll give a response. Alright guys, it gave me a decently long response. I think the Lugia is more shocked than anything. I just said, hello, oh great ones. Like I said, you don't really know what his name is technically. Yeah, it says it, but again, you have to put this in the context of you being actually there. You ain't gonna know this Pokemon's name unless it was whispered. I just said, I'm sorry if I disturbed you, but I come in peace, not hostility. I'm not going to hurt you. Just, please don't attack me. The cavern seemed to hold its breath after your words. Your voice echoed softly through the ice, swallowed by the heavy silence that followed. Glacian's eyes narrowed slightly, the glow within them pulsing like faint northern lights. The frost storm he had been summoning slowed, the shards hanging in the air for a heartbeat before dripping harmlessly to the ground. He tilted his head, massive and deliberate, regarding you as if you were something he had not seen in centuries. The cave rumbled with a deep, resonant growl, not one of rage, but of warning, like distant thunder rolling across a frozen sea. Oh no, I'm not so used to doing flipping around viruses. Peace. His voice is deep and layered, reverberating through your chest. Few have spoken that word here, and lived. Oh dear. He took a single step forward, the ice beneath his talons cracking. You could feel the sheer cold radiating from him, prickling your skin and frosting your breath even more. Why? His voice was sharp now, demanding an answer. Why come to me, child of men? Do you seek my power, as those before you did? Or do you seek death? Oh shoot! Dang it! The air around you howled as the temperature dropped even lower. His wings twitched, as though he was still deciding whether you would walk out of this cavern alive. Oh, that's not... Okay. Well, I'll have to figure out this. Give me a second. Alright, guys. Here's what I said. I said, I'm not here for power. I promise. Please don't attack me. I'm not here to hurt you or anything like that. I swear. I meant to put I seek. I seek you out because I heard rumors that you were a special Lugia no one has never seen before, or at least hasn't without being hurt or killed. Lugia is actually my favorite legendary, and I was just really interested to see you for myself. Every time I say something like they're one of my favorite porn, they flipping get like shocked out of nowhere. Like Rampardo's just flipping like whenever like Rampardo's the other day. Me, I told him I wanted to be friends. His eyes just got like wide out of nowhere. The cave trembled softly as your words echoed against the walls. Glacian froze, his wings still outstretched, his crystalline feathers glinting in the pale light of the ice. The glow in his eyes flickered, no longer burning with anger, but with something far more complicated. Curiosity. For a long, cold moment he said nothing. The only sound was the faint crackling of ice as the frost crept further along the ground, encircling you, yet stopping just short of your feet. Your favorite? The words rumbled from his chest, almost a whisper, as if he hadn't spoken in a very long time. None have called me such. None have looked upon me without fear. They came with spears, with chains, and with curses. His voice grew sharper, more bitter. The cavern walls groaning under the pressure of his power. They sought to bind me, to drain me, and to break me. The air shimmered with cold, but then it softened, his massive head lowered slightly, bringing his glacial blue eyes closer to your level. And yet you come with empty hands and with respect in your heart. He let a slow, resonant breath that formed a cloud of frozen mist around you, strangely gentle this time. Tell me, little one. His voice was lower now, almost tired. Why risk your life to find a creature the world has forsaken? His gaze pierced through you, not with malice, but with the weight of centuries of pain. You could tell he genuinely wanted to know. I really like him. He's already cool. No pun intended. Alright, guys. I said, well, the main reason I seeked you out was to see if the rumors were true. But not only that, I was hoping that potentially, if you were a Lugia, like people said, that you would actually... let's see, if you were a Lugia, like people said, you would actually be my friend. I can assure you, I have no weapons, there's no traps nearby, and I have no intention of hurting or capturing you. What's this flipping ice Lugia's eyes just widen out of nowhere? For a moment, the cavern was completely still. Your words seemed to hang in the air like falling snow, quiet but powerful. Glacian's enormous wings slowly followed back against his body, each icy feather letting off a faint crystalline chime as it moved. The swirling frost that had been building up around you finally settled, drifting harmlessly to the floor. He lowered his head even further, until his muzzle was only a few feet away from you. The cold radiating from him was so intense that your breath came out in shimmering clouds, but somehow it didn't feel hostile anymore. Friend? His deep voice rolled like a distant avalanche. Softer now. No human has ever asked to be that. His glacial blue eyes studied you for a long moment, searching and testing. Then, almost imperceptibly, the light in them dimmed from a harsh, icy glare to a calm, reflective glow. You speak truth. No steel, no malice, no hunger for power. Could he sense that? A low, almost mournful sound escapes him. Not quite a growl, not quite a sigh. You remind me of long ago. He closed his eyes for a moment as if gathering himself, then opened them again. Very well. I will not strike you, but know this, little one. The cavern rumbled faintly as he lifted his head with a graceful sweep of his neck. If you wish to call me friend, you must prove you are not like those who come before. My trust is not so easily thawed. The air around you warmed slightly. Not much, but enough to make it clear he had deliberately eased his power. Step forward. His voice was commanding, yet non-kind. If you mean what you say, stand before me without fear. Sounds like the thing that Luke or the flipping Rampart was telling me to do last time. What in the world? Okay then. Alright guys, I said, okay, I will definitely do that for you. Because they want me to step forward without fear, and I take a few steps closer to Glacian. The sound of your footsteps echoed softly against the cavern walls, crunching over the frost-laden floor. Each step felt heavier than the last, not because of fear, but because of the weight of the moment. Glacian's piercing gaze never left you. When he finally stood just a few feet away from his massive crystalline head, the ice-type Lugia leaned in slightly, his breath washing over you like in a wave of frigid air that sparkled like diamond dust in the pale light. He sniffed once, low and quiet, as though testing the truth of your words not just with his eyes, with every sense he possessed. Then, slowly and deliberately, Glacian lowered himself until his enormous body was resting against the icy floor. His head tilted, bringing his muzzle closer to you, the cavern rumbling faintly with the sound of shifting ice. You do not tremble. His voice was deep and thoughtful now, almost approving. You have come this far, through storm and shadow, and still you wish to call me friend. For the first time, there was no growl, no edge of hostility, only a strange, quiet curiosity. Perhaps you are not like the others. The air between you felt charged, but not with danger, more like expectation, as though he was waiting to see if you would make the next move. His glowing eyes softened ever so slightly. Then speak, little one. If I'm to believe you, if you truly wish to know me, tell me why. His massive wings shifted just slightly, scattering frost into the air like glistening snow. Why choose a creature the world fears as your friend? Give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, well, like I told you a while ago, you're my favorite legendary, and I was very interested to meet you. You can trust me 100% because I never hurt someone that I care about, and if I do, it's by accident, not on purpose. If you don't completely believe me, I've befriended a lot of porn, a good bit of them that nobody else ever cared about, or species that have been hurt by humans in the past, making them not trust humans. But in the end, those porn really care about me and even protect me when I'm in danger. Oh, I got him thinking. That's actually pretty neat. The cavern went quiet again, so quiet you could hear your own heartbeat echo against the walls. Glacian's eyes widened slightly at your words, as if something deep within him had just been struck. His head tilted, the ice cliffs along his crest shimmering faintly as they caught the pale light. Other broken ones trust you? His voice was low, almost a whisper now. The icy tumble beneath it softer than before. He seemed to be thinking, really thinking, as if he hadn't considered the idea that someone could earn the loyalty of one who had every reason to hate humans. He slowly drew in a deep breath, the air swirling around you like a miniature snowstorm. When he exhaled, the wind was calmer, warmer, as though his presence was no longer meant to freeze you, but surround you. You speak of things I know too well. Betrayal, pain, mistrust. His wings folded completely against his sides now, his posture no longer aggressive. I have known nothing but those things for centuries. I was cursed by them, hunted by them, left to rot beneath the ice until I became this. His massive talon pressed against the ice floor, cracking it slightly as if to emphasize the weight of his words. And yet, you stand here, and you do not run. He lowers his head until his muzzle was only a foot from you now, his glacial breath misting around your shoulders. If what you say is true, then perhaps. His glowing eyes softened further, almost tired but no longer hostile. Perhaps there is room for one more to trust you. A deep, resonant sound filled the cavern. It was not a growl this time, but something that almost sounded like a sigh of relief. Very well, little one. Glacian shifted, lowering his head fully until his icy crest was level with you, and I almost think with a gesture of cautious acceptance. I would not harm you, and if you wish it, I will be your ally. The cavern seemed to grow warmer at those words, the frost around you retreating just slightly as though the ice itself was listening. Okay, that's intense. I love it a lot. Give me a second. Alright, guys. I just said I would be honored. Honestly, you look awesome as an ice type, Lugia. Thank you so much. Oh, I was about to say, why do you say awesome for me? Never mind. The cavern almost seemed to glow faintly at your words, as if the ice itself reflected the warmth of what you just said. Glacian went still for a long moment. Then, slowly, a low, resonant sound rumbled in his chest. It wasn't a growl this time. It was something gentler and deeper, like distant thunder on a calm night. Awesome. His voice was softer now, and for the first time there was a faint trace of amusement in it. No one has ever called me that. His voice shifted closer, the icy floor groaning under his weight. Then, with a deliberate, graceful motion, he lowered his massive head fully until his muzzle was right in front of you. The glowing blue of his eyes no longer seemed threatening. They were calm, almost warm. You have spoken truth and shown courage. He exhaled, a plume of mist washing over you. Then I will remember your words, little one. From this day forward, you have my respect and my protection. The cavern trembled slightly, not from anger, but from the sheer power of his voice, like the mountains themselves acknowledged the moment. Glacian tilted his head ever so slightly, as if inviting you to step closer. Come then, friend. Touch the frost, if you dare, and let the pact be sealed. His muzzle was now within reach, his crystalline feathers glinting like frozen diamonds. You could feel the cold radiating off of him, but it was no longer biting, no longer threatening. It was like the cool calm after a storm. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Alright, guys. I said thank you. To be honest with you, I was kind of wanting to pet you, but I wanted to make sure it was okay first. And I just reach out and gently pet him. The moment your hand touched his muzzle, a ripple of ice energy surged through the cavern, but it wasn't hostile. The frost that had clung to the walls for centuries shimmered like starlight, casting the cavern in a breathtaking glow. Glacian froze at first, clearly not used to such a gentle gesture. His breath came out in a slow, misty plume, and then a deep, resonant sound escaped his chest. Low, almost like a purr rumbling through layers of ice. Strange. His voice echoed softly, carrying a mix of surprise and something far more vulnerable. No one has dared touch me since the day I was cursed. He slowly tilted his head into your touch, careful not to knock you over with his massive size. The crystalline texture of his feathers was smooth and cool under your hand, like polished ice, and the glow in his eyes softened even more. It seems. He paused as if tasting the words. I do not mind. The cavern grew noticeably warmer as he spoke, the frost retreating just enough to reveal faint reflections of the two of you standing together, like the mountain itself was witnessing the moment. Very well, little one. His wings shifted, sending a flurry of glittering snow into the air like tiny stars. From this day, you were under my protection. If ever the storms of this world turn against you, call for me. He slowly lifted his head again, towering above you, but the hostility was gone. For the first time since you entered the cavern, there was no danger in the air, only an unspoken bond, powerful and unbreakable. You are my friend. The words echoed like a vow, sealing the moment forever. Okay, that is dope. I love it. Okay, guys, despite the thing messing up and not getting what I said completely right, he still got what I said. I said, thank you so much. I asked, what is your name? And then told him mine. The cavern echoed softly with your words, your name bouncing back at you in a gentle chorus of sound. Glacian's head lowered once more until his glowing, icy blue eyes were level with yours. He regarded you silently for a moment, his breath misting in the air before he spoke. Triton. His voice rumbled through the cavern like a distant glacier breaking free into the sea, slow and deliberate, a name spoken without fear. I will remember it. He straightened slightly, the motion elegant despite his enormous size. The light from the ice reflected off his crystalline wings as he spread them just enough to make the cavern shimmer with a refracted light. Long ago, I was Arius. His voice was quieter now, almost reverent, as if speaking a name long buried in the snow. But that name was taken from me when the curse froze my spirit. Now, I am Glacian, the last guardian of the frozen maw. He tilted his head slightly as though curious how you would react. But if you are my friend, Triton, a soft rumble echoed from deep in his chest, then you may call me by the name you feel is right, be it Glacian or something new. He lowered his muzzle again, offering you the rare honor of naming him as an equal, something no human had likely been given in centuries. Probably not at all, knowing how he didn't trust humans. I mean, like, literally, he was threatening me before I started talking to him nicely. Give me a second. Alright, guys, I said, well, I'll tell you what. What would you want me to call you? I want you to be happy with the name that gets picked, too. A name that makes you feel happy or good when you hear it. The cavern went very still at your words. Glacian's glowing eyes widened slightly, and for the first time, the faintest glimmer of warmth, almost like pride, shone in them. His massive wings shifted, not in aggression, but in a slow, graceful movement that sent a glittering flurry of snow through the air. You would let me choose? His voice was quiet now, deep and almost thoughtful, as though no one had ever asked him what he wanted before. He went silent for a moment, closing his eyes. He could feel the air grow even colder, but not in a hostile way, more like the entire cavern was holding its breath as the great Lugia thought. Finally, he opened his eyes again. Then, I choose Glacian. His voice was steady, calm, as if a weight had been lifted from his spirit. I have carried that name through centuries of storm and shadow. It's a name forged in ice, born of my pain. But now, perhaps, it can mean more. He lowered his head closer to you once more until his glowing eyes were only a few feet away. If you call me Glacian Triton, then let it be as a friend, not as the monster they feared, but as the guardian who stands with you. The air seemed to warm ever so slightly at those words, as though the very mountain acknowledged the change. So speak it, little one. Let me hear my name from the first human I've ever called friend. I love him. He's cute. There was the limit, guys. Let's see. Okay. Before I even read out this last thing, let's see if we actually got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It actually gave us 10. I'm sorry, but after that time where it gave only 9, it kind of threw me off. So I had to make sure. Here's what I said. Glacian, he wanted to be called by Glacian, and he wanted me to say his name by somebody that actually cared about him. And so I just told him, okay, I'll do it to make you smile, Glacian. The moment the name left her lips, the cavern seemed to come alive. The frost along the walls glimmered brighter, scattering light like thousands of tiny diamonds. A deep, resonant sound rumbled through Glacian's chest, half a growl, half something you could only describe as a pleased, powerful purr. I love how each creature, no matter whether or no, I love how each creature, no matter whether they're feared because of how terrifying they are, or whether they're considered a guardian or a god of the place they're guarding, will just flip in, like, if they make a purr, it's like the most adorable, they'll purr like a cat if they like you, or will make the little happy coo. I honestly would have been even happier if that Lugia would have cooed. I love that. It's just so I don't know what it is about the word coo, but every time I hear it with a Lugia or a Faraga, I don't care who it is. If it's a point I love and I hear it coo, I will be happy as heck. Although having a pocket cat's kind of cute too. Like, holy cow, he ain't a cat. I love him. Holy cow, he's amazing. He said he lowered his head once more, almost bowing, his icy crest glinting beautifully in the pale light. Yes. His voice rolled through the cavern like distant thunder, softer now, carrying a note of relief, spoken by one who does not fear me. It sounds different, and it feels good. His wings unfolded slowly, casting enormous shadows across the cavern walls. There was no menace in the motion, only a display of his strength, as if showing you he was no longer your enemy. Then let it be so. I am Glacian. His glowing eyes softened, the icy glow faded into something calmer and warmer, and you, Triton, are my first true friend. He lowered his muzzle to you again, close enough that you could feel that cold radiating from him, but now it was almost refreshing, like standing in cool air on a hot day. If you ever call for me, I will come. Through blizzard or storm, I will find you. You know, if he was saying that as a threat, that would be horrifying. Just tell everything he said for this, except for the last 4 words, I will find you. That would be a threat if he hated me. I said, I'm pretty sure if it was threatening, he would have said it a different way, that's for sure. But I saw a flurry of snow drifted around you both, swirling in a slow, gentle spiral as though the mountain itself approved of the bond that had just been forged. Glacian let out one final, low rumble that almost sounded like a chuckle. And perhaps, little one, his massive tail swished slowly across the cavern floor, scattering frost in its wake. It has been too long since I have smiled. For just a moment, the corners of his mouth curved. Not much, but enough to be unmistakable. An ancient, icy guardian, feared by all for centuries, was smiling just for you. He is adorable. I told you, I don't care. The Lugia could be a flipping million feet tall for all I care. If it can be friendly, purr like a cat, or coo, or just do that, smile just because I love to see him smile. Like, holy cow, that's amazing and adorable. Unfortunately, that's also where the limit runs up, and it doesn't reset until 5:56. So unfortunately, that's it. We're done. We can't do anything else. So yeah. Bye bye.